Morning, Jamie here at Fit Strong Personal Training. It's just past 6:15 in the morning. First morning session's finished. Lots of stretching and mobility today to feel good as we head in towards Pump Day, Wednesday. Quick vlog today. I was going to start writing a blog and I thought, let's just get out there and have a little chit chat instead. A few things to chat about. One thing in particular that's quite important. In the past week, I've seen 3 of my associates in the fitness industry shut up shop. Sole traders in the fitness industry. It's been becoming a very competitive industry. Every industry is competitive, of course, but in particular, the sole traders against the franchises that are bombarding the fitness market right now with all their sexy, pizzazzy, HIIT type training. And that's the kind of thing I want to get into. When it comes to choices, when it comes to deciding where we're going to go to spend our time exercising, we'll get to that in a second. So we all have choices, except for death and taxes. Benjamin Franklin had that great quote he wrote in the 1700s, I believe. There are no certainties in life except for death and taxes. How I interpret that is, those 2 things are definite. You're going to die, and you're going to pay taxes at some stage. Everything else is a choice. Everything else are options. They're variables in your life, but let's just call them choices. For most people, they're going to follow the herd. You're going to buy the phone everyone else is buying. You're going to try and live in the kind of house everyone else lives in. You're going to try and drive the popular cars people want to drive, and you're going to take the kind of occupations that you feel you should pursue, not necessarily that you want to pursue. We have choices, an abundance of choices for those 40 years working roughly 40 weeks, 40 hours a week if you're unlucky. We have choices. So you can follow the herd, or you can make your own educated choice and decision. So let's get back to HIIT, high intensity interval training. Well, the research studies done years ago, many years ago, Tabata was not a recent thing, that's decades old, but what they found in the research originally, that compared to slow steady state training, going out and walking, cycling, stuff you can do every single day, wasn't burning as many calories per hour, say, as doing interval training, based on Tabata, which is a 4-minute protocol. Even our kettlebell swings have been shown to burn more calories than some other cardiovascular high intensity activities. But there's always a but in these things. If you do high intensity interval training, you might be able to survive doing 2 a week for a year. You might pick up a small injury here and there, so you might miss a few weeks. You might get 48 weeks, twice a week, not too many sessions. However, is it healthy? Is working yourself to that level of exertion actually healthy? And the most recent research is saying, no, it's not. Building up all those toxins in the body, pushing your muscles and your joints to limits time and time again is not healthy. Why is it so popular? Well, a lot of gyms and franchises and other program writers look at the sexy, interesting, sellable stuff that athletes do. The 5% of what athletes do is going to be that high intensity interval training for certain times of the year, not all year round. They fail to acknowledge the fact that most athletes will be spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours spending their time on developing their skills, developing their essential endurance and strength, and building up a really good foundation. The average person walking into I can't mention the gyms for legal reasons, that would be fair, but all these new franchises popping up that are selling HIIT training, they're not ready for that. That's why they're getting injured. So while we feel that we enjoy those kind of things, the modern research has no regard for your feelings. Think of all the other things you do that feel good. Picking a scab, oh, feels good. Then you get an infection. Chocolate, muffins, wine, all the lovely things that we really enjoy in life. You can't have them all the time. Your body's going to push back, and you're going to have some negative outcomes from those habits. So just because something feels good and you enjoy it, and let's be honest, HIIT training can be quite enjoyable. That's that sense of survival. I finished that session, yeah, let's do the next one, as you limp out, rubbing your shoulder, whatever. HIIT training is not sustainable. While you can do it every now and again, it should be the icing on the cake underneath all that foundation of developing your basic strengths and all the essential movements, slow controlled cardiovascular training as well. Get that heart very, very healthy. There's fantastic Phil Maffetone, Dr. Maffetone, has his MAF method that he's developed over the years. Years ago we used to take 220 minus your age, and that was your kind of heart rate that we based off percentages. So 220, say you're 40 years of age, we'll give you your max pulse of 180, you work then off 65 or 75 or 85% of those, of that figure. It's a bit vague, it wasn't really working for everybody. It certainly didn't work for me, and I've got a professional cycling background. I was always a bit higher than those numbers. But his most recent research has shown that, generally speaking, 180 minus your age is the maximum kind of sustainable pulse to work at keeping when you're doing your aerobic activities. But that gives people the best capacity to make themselves into a fat burning machine, a really aerobic fat burning machine. So we're back to where we started. Aerobic training, long, sustainable, something you can do every single day. And if you can't walk for an hour a day, there's something seriously imbalanced in your life. You have people who do that for 5, 10 years, but if you want to live a healthy retirement, you're going to have to build in that cardiovascular training. Half an hour is fine every single day, very sustainable. That on top of strength training twice a week, keeping yourself mobile and active with your mobility practice, be it yoga or some other kind of thing. Those are things that we need to do because they're the things that are going to help us pass into our retirement with joy. Nobody wants to retire feeling destroyed, beaten down, nursing old injuries from all that high intensity interval training. You want to really enter those latter years feeling good about yourselves. So while the tribe, while the herd is doing all the HIIT training, or trying to 3 times a week, get injured, to come back and do it again, blah, 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 you could try to look at being reasonable and sustainable, training for longevity, expanding your comfort zone. There's a great coach, Paul McElroy, back in my hometown of Belfast, spoke years ago about stretching out your comfort zone, increasing your comfort zone. It's a great concept. By chipping away at the upper end of your comfort zone, you can gradually expand your upper range of your comfort zone and your abilities. We see it all the time in the gym where people train at a medium level of kettlebell weights, for example, and their maximum strength increases by default. It's simple. It's how we evolved. We did not evolve to go out and thrash ourselves and then recover. A couple hundred years ago, you could not afford to spend 2 days limping around. So all activities were sustainable, and we are great creatures at sustainable activities. We have a great aerobic system. We are very efficient at storing body fat, and we're very good. We should be very good at burning it off as well, if we use ourselves the way we were intended. So HIIT training should really be the icing on the cake, something you do less than 5% of your week if you're doing any of that. A quick dash of something at the end of the session every now and again, but for the most part your training session should be light, working at those skills, light strength, not easy, not hard, just light-ish, working at your skills. You have a medium session where you work a little bit harder, and a slightly harder session where you're pushing the comfort zone a little bit, then go back and repeat. Light, medium, heavy, or light, heavy, medium, whatever scheme works best for your week. So I'm not bad mouthing HIIT, high intensity training. It has its place. Yesterday I did 100 swings in 5 minutes. I consider that my high intensity interval training. I'm doing that once every 4 weeks or 3 weeks if I'm really keen, but that's it. The rest of the training is really expanding that comfort zone, increasing what I can do in a given time. And the same goes for all the clients training here. We turn up, we practice our movements, we recover, we leave the gym feeling better, and yep, everyone gets stronger. It's very, very simple. Don't make it more complicated. Don't follow the herd. Do your own reading. If something seems too good or it's got really sexy marketing, you can be pretty sure it's bullshit. Okay, excuse the French. So I'm going to leave that there. It's almost 10 minutes. Wow, get me talking. Imagine I was trying to write that in a blog. Probably would have been more structured and more paced, but you get the idea. My job as a trainer, a strength and wellness coach, is to help people decide, not make them decide, help them see all the facts and details of how to make healthier decisions in regards to their lifestyle and their strength training. very passionate about staying strong as we get older so that we can be more resilient against injury. And strong doesn't mean lifting big weights, that means getting to the floor, standing back up, carrying things, pushing things, all the activities we are designed to do. Okay, any questions or comments about that, or if you want to eat my face off for disrespecting high intensity interval training, go ahead, it's cool. We're all entitled to make our own choices and decisions. I just know what works best. Okay, that's not cocky, that's just 22 years experience and just seeing and trying out all the systems over the years. And when it comes down to it, sustainable training is the most sensible approach and the one approach that yields the most results. Final point, if you are doing interval training and you are doing it twice a week or 3 times a week and you get injured and you miss sessions and you only get, say, 48 weeks of the year, 96 sessions a year, weigh that up against training where you're able to do 4 times a week all year round. You're going to accumulate a lot more 200 plus sessions compared to 96. So, you chew that one over. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.